What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the red color. Playing as Gaia. Finally. His name is Kvoth. His opponent today in the blue color. Getting confused. They switched their players up. Rapl got into the game first this time. So he's the blue color, and he's playing as Thor. We're finally seeing Rapl. I mean, we're finally seeing Gaia playing Kvoth. Kvoth playing Gaia. We're finally seeing Kvoth playing Gaia. Exciting times. It's been a hot minute. He's been going with the Uranus, trying to steal a win here early against some of those more kind of meta picks that he would expect Rapl to play. I mean, maybe Kvoth feels like he has a bit of a tough time against maybe Zeus and Odin, and he just wanted to tick those ones off, have Rapl play his big picks, and then try and make a comeback here. So we've seen reverse sweeps before. We've seen, especially to take note of one that's of recent memory, is the nearly infamous now reverse sweep of Shelty versus Nullus, where Shelty busted out his strong picks Thor and Odin in the start of the game, and then he couldn't find a win later on in the series. So will this be a case where Rapl has brought out his two main weapons in Odin and Zeus and not be able to get a win with anything else? Only time will tell. We've got ourselves a very, very interesting map here, actually. I haven't seen this one. There's a little bit of a volcano, as you, if you will, in the center of this map, looking a lot like a Oasis-style map, but much, much cooler. Very, very small thing in that middle there. So a very cool little layout here that I haven't seen. So we'll see how this is all going to go. We've got some decent hunt on the map. Rhinoceros, a handful of giraffe here, some berries, some boar. It's all going to be spread out all across this map. And we'll see how Rapl's going to be approaching this one. He's also found himself an elephant over here. Hasn't actually gotten himself Big Sticker up just yet, but we'll be getting that one now as his house is coming out. Did we see any idle town center time? Doesn't look like we have. Kvoth, on the other hand, looks like he's motoring ahead fairly naturally here. Only has hunting dogs, not going for any crazy hand axe, pickaxe, channels, early game build. Just going to go for standard clean Gaia play here at the start of this game, and we'll see how that's all going to be winding up right now as the Rhino getting picked off over here. We will be seeing some boar being spotted, and Kvoth's going to be I would say a little bit unhappy about the lack of hunt. He might be okay with the fact that a lot of it is kind of forward positioned, though there is all of this back Rhino that is also here to be eaten, given that Rapl has also found his elephant thus far, as we see an elephant over here for Kvoth. As Forseti on the way for Rapl. I love this. I've been talking about a strategy. I'm not sure if Rapl's going to do this, to be honest, but I've been talking about a Thor strategy, which revolves around Herser, Hall of Fanes, armory upgrades, throwing axemen into Ragnarok against Gaia, because the idea is that those Hall of Fanes Herser are immune to Leto. You build those Herser, the Leto, he can know you just don't. She? That looks like a she to me. Goddess. That's embarrassing right there. So Leto's spider layers don't work against Herser, or heroes in general, and Gaia's automatons, Leto's automaton is going to become useless against those mass Herser. So we'll see if this is what Rapl wants to do in this game, or if he's just going to go for something a little bit standard with his Herser. And the reason why I was saying that you can kind of get a little bit like you might want to go for an armory here with this strategy if you're going for a mass Herser Hall of Fanes is the idea is that Herser get an extra 5% bonus over everything else. We do see those hero oracles coming in for a little bit of a harass. So if you get yourself copper mail, for example, those Herser get an extra 15% vulnerability, or negative vulnerability, I should say, than the standard 10%. So there's just a little bit more value on your Herser. And then also you can do the same thing with you also get the same thing with the Heroes of Ragnarok. So it makes a lot of sense. But Terma, Murmillo coming out right now for Kvoth, as we're seeing raiding cavalry coming through for Rapl. So this longhouse has actually been stopped building here. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but Rapl hasn't paid attention to this one just yet. As he's leaving that there, we do see the spider eggs getting dropped over here as the units slowly starting to come out for Kvoth. Rappel's at 43 of 55 population here, as the Hearst is going to be getting that longhouse up. The wall coming up over on this location is, I mean, Rapl probably going to be pretty confident that he can just kind of play defensive here. This is fairly standard for Thor. But the thing is that the town centers are fairly far away. Though there's a really, really nice elephant on this one with giraffe. So maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. Rapl did use his Dwarven Gold Mine in the early stages of this game. So there is that to pay attention to, as well as we are seeing the armory coming up here. Right, raiding cavalry, throwing axemen coming out, and Herser. So going for that almost 1-1-1 style, as the units will cross paths here. Will Kvoth notice it? Doesn't look like he does. Rapl going to be turning around, starting to take the fight here. Kvoth retreating away, not really wanting to take a fight against those nasty raiding cavalry. And he's going to be pulling back, potentially going to be trying to drag them over these spider eggs. As we see another military barracks coming down potentially now. Kvoth is going to go away from those Terma into more like mass Murmillo kind of ideas, but Rapl has kept his throwing axemen in reserve fairly decently here, and he's starting to build those. We see some more walls coming up here as a stray house does get taken down. Rapple's going to have to throw them up pretty quickly over here in order to continue his production, but one house goes down, going to be coming back up incredibly fast here, and we'll see more units streaming through. So checking out Kvoth's upgrades right now. He does have only hand axe, pickaxe, so a little bit behind the 8 ball and where I would normally see him. He normally goes for much earlier upgrades than otherwise, as the raiding cavalry going to be retreating away here. 8 HP on said raiding cavalry. Move up to the top side of the map. We do see there's a relic up here that's pretty decent. The Girdle of Hippolyta does give those throwing axemen extra hit points, which can keep them alive against those Terma for much longer. And also the Myth Unit Crush vulnerability. Not a lot of value where that's concerned, but you can find some value in that unit, if in that relic, if you're going to be going for a Titan fight. One of the little kind of things there. Little unknown advantages of picking up a relic, because we do see a stray automaton over on this location, as the raiding cavalry do spot that one. They're going to be trying to chase after it. What's automaton here will go down, will do a lot of damage to a raiding cavalry before it does end up falling. A little bit of micro here from Rapl to make sure he doesn't lose too much HP. As we see the units pushing in for Kvoth, realizing that there's a pretty difficult pathway into his opponent's base here. He's going to have to break down this wall if he wants to come over and hit this location over here. How much gold is left in the home gold mine? He's like 1,500 gold in that home gold mine. A bit of a Gaia lair. Spider eggs getting thrown down on the front here as some more houses for Rapl coming up. As Rapl seems he could choose to cancel these units and go next age here if he so chose. He doesn't have any armory upgrades just yet. As Rapl trying to move back onto these chicken on the front here, as a handful of raiding cavalry are falling here, as the throwing axemen wandering forward to try and get some good damage done. The Terma not really being used just yet. You get those Terma to kill the throwing axemen. We are seeing the units pulling back here, could drag them over the spider eggs here, but Rapl just says no, not going to happen here. See, these villagers have to pull back as the walls kill off the chicken or something like that. And while we're seeing this, we do see the raids coming up onto these villages. Rapl not paying attention here, and a little bit too confident about that wall. Little does he know that the Gaia play can go 2 separate ways around this map, gets a whole bunch of villager kills, and Rapl is now down to next to no wood food in the bank. This is very, very difficult, very, very difficult situation now for Rapl to be in, and he's going to be moving forward, trying to get in front of those Terma. Going to be losing one of those raiding cavalry. We haven't got the raiding cavalry upgrade just yet, Thundering Hooves, but essentially now Kvoth going to be very, very happy about the damage that he has managed to do, and Rapl has to go onto wood in the Classical Age. This is absolute nightmare mode for Rapl. Kvoth's got full access to the hunt on the map. He's eating the berries, though. There's not really any other hunt over here. He does have some elephant at the top corner of the map here, but it's a bit of a ways away, because we are seeing Rapl trying to move forward and snipe these units out as he's trying to get in front of them. But Kvoth just going to calmly retreat away, going to break down this gate, try and muster his forces all in one area here. As Kvoth also going to be getting himself copper mail, getting very, very close to being able to advance to the heroic age here. We'll see him throw that armory down fairly soon, I'm sure. But having done that early game damage, or not early game, mid game damage, early game-ish damage to Rapl's economy is going to be absolutely brutal. Thea coming through now for Kvoth. Rapl nowhere close to the next age, but Rapl does have a little bit of a timing here. He's got a pretty strong army. I'm going to see an attempted wall getting thrown up here for Rapl. Probably should just go for a building there, like a longhouse or something if he really wants to. And how we see the units going to be moving back up onto this food as Kvoth... Oh, is he going to check it, though? He just checks the gold mine. A little bit of an inkling that the gold's going to be coming at about 10 minutes 30 is when Odin's does, but... It's now 11 minutes 30, and Rapl getting away with murder on this location. Going to be eating this elephant as well. We see the stray throwing axeman does spot these units over here as Rapl pushing forward. They are just about to pop lots of wood in the bank here for Kvoth. That might be for farms here in the coming future. Do we see any upgrades into the farms? Not just yet. It's not a bad idea to actually just research plow at an early stage of the game. If you've got the resources for it, because then it allows you to get irrigation as soon as you start dropping farms, which can be really, really good as well. And this is mostly just for Gaia, because it's so cheap and you have so many resources, basically infinite resources. Dwarves now moving over here. Now there's a big, big opportunity for Kvoth to really push in. He needs to have maybe a town center or something. He's going to be looking like he's going to the next age. He can go for an early implode here. Implode's going to be very, very strong, but he might choose Heke, and nope. Kvoth loves Atlas. I see him go Atlas nearly every single game, and I really like Atlas a lot. But the question is going to be, can Rapl get to the heroic age himself fast enough and utilize that frost to defend his gold mine while he's going to attempt to get to the mythic age here. Now, one thing that Atlas does get, and we will be seeing Skadi coming in, one thing that Atlas does get that gets overlooked by some players is the Titan shield here. Extra 15% building hack armor as well as crush armor, but the hack armor ends up being a really big assistance in this game. As Skadi on the way, or as I mean, it's like the rag heroes come through and you need to defend your gold mines and the stuff like that. As Rapl now going full onto this gold mine. He's taken off of those elephant because they're gone. He's just going to decide everyone onto the gold. Rappl's going to be rushing towards Ragnarok here as fast as he can. But Kvoth is easily going to be hitting an incredibly strong implode timing onto this location. And Rapl, I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do to recover here, because he's, well, and where's he going to throw the marker down is the big question. Skadi, it will hit first here, but I'm not sure that Kvoth is going to care. In fact, he's probably going to relish in that moment to just drop the Atlas down, as the frost does hit, and the Atlas is super close here. He's at 96%. We see a marker getting dropped down by Rapl immediately here, but is this going to be too little, too late? As the implode does get dropped, the village is going to be getting pulled in, and we will be seeing those villagers attempting to retreat away. A whole handful of them will end up falling here, but Rapl gets the majority of his forces to safety. That market might need to be deleted and rebuilt up the top side of the map here. So how many units are left alive? We've got 5 left in here, as we see the the implode blowing up, the units coming in to try and take down these villages over here. Rapl doing his best to start fighting, but more units going to be flooding in onto this location. We've got the Argus ready to take down one of those trolls immediately. The Symphalian birds deal with that troll in the back here. The villagers coming over here to try and get back onto the large gold mine. Rappel's got tons of resources in the bank, but no houses here. He's been housed quite severely, getting pushed off that gold mine. He's got 30 villagers left in the bank here. I'm not sure exactly what Rapl can do right now, as we're going to be seeing a palace down on the front here, and Kvoth pushing in with where there's a Ragnarok, there is a way, as he's going to be pulling back into his hometown center, trying to throw up that market as fast as he can. Kvoth might just not take his foot off the gas, though. He might go straight after the town center as we see the market getting thrown up. It's very obvious right now what Rapl wants to do here. As we see those Terma pushing in, we see the units trying to fight back as best as they can. The Frost Giant going to get taken out. Here's the Argus coming in onto the town center as well. The units getting surrounded. Balder is now on the way, but 33 villages, 60 population. The village is going to be jumping onto that wood line over here. This is looking very, very dicey for Rapl indeed here, as I'm sure we'll just see palace coming up all over the place. We see that second town center getting dropped by Kvoth right now as well, as Rapl is now going to be getting attacked on his wood line, and Kvoth gets on the scoreboard here, putting a stop to the Ragnarok before it comes in. A really, really nice display here from Kvoth. He really changed it up here based on this game versus his first game there against the Odin with Urano. So I'm not sure if that was more based on the Gaia aspect here. He gets a little bit more resources than anything, or if maybe Rapl didn't play so well, but that's this raid up here that hit this this food on this location. I think that Rapl just felt like he was safe there for whatever reason, as Kvoth was distracting nicely with his units, but Kvoth just distracts, pushes in, picks off a whole bunch of units, and that allowed Kvoth the huge advantage to hit the Mythic Age just a little bit after the Heroic Age comes for Rapl. The implode drops, and life becomes really tough for Rapl in that moment. If you guys enjoyed this game, we're moving on to game number 4 very, very shortly. Please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.